So, you've probably heard of precision medicine, right? Over a decade ago, it burst onto the scene with this huge promise to completely change healthcare. It was supposed to be the future, a total game changer. But what was that big promise really?
It all boiled down to this one simple, powerful idea: the right treatment for the right person at the right time. I mean, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? No more of that one-size-fits-all medicine. The dream was a future where everything was tailored just for you: your genes, your lifestyle, your environment. A genuine revolution in how we do health.
Okay, but fast forward to today. It's been over a decade. And that revolution, it kind of feels stuck, like the engine stalled. The initial excitement has definitely cooled down, and honestly, the whole field seems a little bit lost. So you have to ask, what happened? What went wrong? Why is this amazing promise still just out of reach?
All right, let's really get into it. You could almost say precision medicine is going through a bit of a midlife crisis. You know, it had this incredibly bold, ambitious start, promising the world, and now it's looking in the mirror and seeing this huge, gaping chasm between that promise and what's actually happening on the ground.
And to see just how big that gap is, let's look at advanced lung cancer. This is supposed to be one of the poster children for precision oncology, one of its biggest success stories. So you'd assume most of the right patients are getting these miracle treatments, right? Well, think again. This number, wow. Real-world data shows that a whopping 64.4% of patients who could be a good fit for precision treatment never actually benefit from it. That's nearly 2 out of every 3 people being left behind.
And that right there is the heart of the problem. What was promised was this sweeping, personalized revolution for everyone. But what we've actually gotten are these small, incremental wins in very, very specific niche corners of medicine, which is great for those people for sure. But for most of us, for most diseases, that revolution just never showed up.
So why? Why the disconnect? Well, the issue isn't really about the tech not being good enough. It goes deeper than that. It's almost philosophical. It seems there's this massive person-shaped blind spot sitting right at the center of the whole thing.
I mean, think about it. What we can do with the human genome today is absolutely mind-blowing. It's fast, it's getting cheaper all the time, and it gives us this incredibly objective, measurable data. We can literally see our own genetic code in stunning high def.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the catch. The whole idea of precision medicine was supposed to be based on 3 key things: your genes, your environment, and your lifestyle. And as you can see here, we are amazing at the genes part. That data is super quantifiable, crystal clear. But the other 2, environment and lifestyle, that data is kind of fuzzy, right? It's all based on things like questionnaires, self-reporting. It's just not precise at all.
And that forces us to ask a really big question. We've gotten so good at zooming in on this one tiny piece of the puzzle, our genes, and analyzing it to death. But what about the rest of the person? What about the whole picture?
This quote just nails it. It says, modern medicine is great at fixing parts, but it struggles to answer what is the fundamental nature of this specific person. And that's because our whole medical system is built on this idea of reductionism, breaking the body down into smaller and smaller pieces. We are incredible at fixing one part, targeting one gene. But in the process, have we forgotten how to see the whole person, the whole system working together?
And that's the midlife crisis in a nutshell. We've built this incredibly powerful engine, a technical masterpiece, but it's like we forgot to install a steering wheel. We've got all this data, all these tools, but we have no direction. We're missing that guiding philosophy. You could even say we're missing its soul.
Okay, so if we need a steering wheel, where do we find one? Well, this is where things get really interesting, because the answer might not be in the next high-tech gadget or some new AI algorithm. What if the answer has been waiting for us in a 2,000-year-old philosophy designed to understand a person as a complete, living, breathing whole?
Let's talk about this idea. It's called key structure. Now, before you think this is getting all mystical, let's frame it this way. Think of it like your body's own personal operating system. It's a framework for understanding your own unique dynamic energy blueprint, the fundamental pattern that just makes you, well, you.
And this operating system has 3 core layers. The first is your nature, or Sing. Think of this as the seed you were born with, your absolute core essence. The second is your constitution, or Qi. This is how that seed sprouts and grows into a unique plant, your specific physical and energetic makeup. And finally, there's your life path, or Ming. This is the journey of that plant through life, how it interacts with the sun, the rain, the soil. It's a complete picture, from birth all the way to destiny.
And this is where it gets super practical. The system uses the 5 elements. You've probably heard of them: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. These aren't just random words. They're like a classification system, a set of archetypes. Each one describes a different kind of personal blueprint, with its own unique traits, its own strengths, and yeah, even its own health challenges. It's a shorthand for understanding the entire pattern of a person.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this is fascinating, but how on earth do you connect ancient philosophy with modern, high-tech science? And that is the billion-dollar question. This isn't about throwing one out for the other. The real magic happens when you integrate them. So let's talk about what that future could actually look like.
Just imagine a platform, maybe an app on your phone. On the input side, you put in your birth data, which helps map your chi structure. Then you add your genetic data from a test like 23andMe, and finally, you stream in real-time data from your Apple Watch or Fitbit. An AI then takes all of that and fuses it together. And on the output side, you get one single integrated health plan. It might recommend a specific drug from Western medicine, but would also give you hyper-personalized advice on diet, lifestyle, and herbs based on Eastern wisdom. The best of both worlds, working together.
Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds a little like science fiction, but the path to actually building this is grounded in real, hard science. Nobody's talking about replacing the medical system we have. It's about making it better. Any new treatment, whether it's a pill or a newfangled app, has to go through the same rigorous evidence-based process of clinical trials to prove it works and it's safe. This kind of integrated approach would be no different. It has to prove itself every single step of the way.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important one. Because when you start integrating these 2 different ways of seeing the world, you don't just get new tools, you actually change the entire goal of what medicine is for.
Just look at this. The old goal, the goal of Precision Medicine 1.0, was all about matching a drug to a disease. It was about fixing a broken part. But this new, integrated goal is so much bigger. It's about understanding your unique personal blueprint and helping you flourish. Health stops being about just not being sick. It becomes about the full, vibrant expression of who you are meant to be.
So that's the choice we're left with, isn't it? It's the big philosophical question for the future of medicine. Are we just going to use all this incredible technology to build more precise patients, to turn people into ever more detailed collections of data points? Or are we going to use it to help actual whole human beings live their fullest, most amazing lives? And maybe, just maybe, finding the answer to that question is how precision medicine finally gets its soul back.